Are you a listing agent wondering how you're going to let the buyer's agent know what the seller is willing to give to that buyer's agent, if anything? Well, I got a couple of tips for you, so stay tuned. My name is Kathy Burns. I'm a realtor here in the Lake Norman area, just north of Charlotte, and I am with EXP. One of the beauties of being with that company, and you've probably heard all kinds of things that we won't do and we will do. Well, get the facts from the source. Get clarity. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, because EXP is not saying it won't pay its buyer's agents. We had a contract that said the listing agent would take the whole percent that was being offered and then split it up. Some for them, some for the buyer's agent. That part's gone away because we're not allowed to put anything in the MLS. That's what they mean by not paying the buyer's agent. So they're just not handling that piece. It doesn't mean the money can't be paid. The seller has every right to decide what they want to pay or not. They always did, at least in North Carolina. So, but the trick is now, how are you going to let the buyer's agents know? There's a common complaint that goes on all the time that agents are saying, well, the other agent doesn't return my call. I have no idea. Well, if you can't put it in the MLS, you can't do it in the Supra, you can't do reverse prospect, you can't do anything that's tied to the MLS to talk about what your seller's willing to do. However, there are a couple tricks. So here's one that I thought of. You can create your voicemail. Like if you've got 3 or 4 listings, if you've got a lot, then there's a whole different story, and I'm not going to cover that today. But let's say you got 1, 3, 4, 5 listings. You do a voice recording on your cell phone, say here's the different addresses, and after each one you say, here's what the seller is willing to offer. Boom, 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 boom on each one. That's your voicemail message on your phone. So an agent will call you up, they're going to hear that. And here's another little tip. You can take your template in your text for your phone. You can do the exact same thing. Now, obviously, this is a pain in the neck that you got to be changing around as you go under contract. Hey, it's some challenges right now. That's all there is to it. So now you're able to say what you're doing when you're not available. That's one thing. So I was on Facebook today. I noticed that this guy, now it's not August 17th yet, so it's not enforceable, but it is going to be enforceable on the 17th. So you might as well act right now as if the rules are in play. Get in the habit. So he had a great post about his waterfront property, really nice. And he said everything about it. He said, yes, and we will pay the buyer's agent commission. And then he had a link to that property in his post. So I did a little post down below and I said, hey, just sent you an email. Now he's probably immediately thinking, I got a buyer for that property. No, I sent him an email because I wanted him to know you can't have that statement that the seller's willing to pay an amount to a buyer's agent if it's got a link to the MLS. The link is the key here. Now, I just saw a post from our canopy here in Charlotte area saying you can't even put like a tag on the key in the Supra because the Supra is tied to the MLS. That's a little extreme, I think. Come on, people. However, you gotta follow the rules, right? You're allowed to have a flyer that you post out there and you can say everything about it. You can have the MLS number. You can have a link. If you didn't have a link in the flyer and it was like a post, then you can say that you offered something for the buyer's agent. One of the safest things to do is just say, give me a call for any questions. And now if they've called you and they've got that, now you've got an answer on your phone and you can shoot a text. So these are important things to know that you've got to do. Pay attention to what you're posting. So I did a post for my fellow agents and I said, don't put that you're going to be able to pay the buyer's agent in your post if you have a link. Now I just did a red background and that those bold letters, and I put that out there on several Facebook groups that I'm a part of because I know it's right. Checked with the broker, I've checked with the MLS. I know what you can and you cannot do with respect to saying that in print media or a post. I know that for a fact. So I'm just telling you, there's some ideas. You can do your phone, you can do the text within your phone as a template. That's an easy setup. If you don't know how to do it, just go to YouTube and ask how to do it. It's a nanosecond, you can make that happen. I have many automatic text responses to different calls that I get, and very time helpful. And if you're going to be that listing agent, I think you need to have those things. Now, you're allowed at an open house to have a stand that says what the seller is willing to offer. You can do that as well. There's a lot of nuances to all these different variables, but you can, within an open house, have that. I think open houses are going to be a big deal going forward. So you may want to be doing open houses going forward. But I would have, if I'm the listing agent and I'm doing that open house, I'm going to have signed 220 forms by the seller saying what they're willing to offer. So that if suddenly one of those buyers who's not represented wants to know, will you represent me? I'm going to have the unrepresented buyer thing as well, so that I can take over and start to do that. You've got to be proactive here. There's a lot more to that. And I say get with your broker, find out exactly how to do that at an open house. But if your broker is a small independent firm, a smaller little franchise office, and they are not as up to date and you're not feeling as comfortable, because there's so many bits and pieces out here everywhere, that I'm going to tell you, the leaders in all of this who are really leading the charge, even creating their own farms, it is EXP. If you follow Leo Pareja, P-A-R-A-J-A, I know I just butchered his last name. Anyway, if you follow him on Facebook, he has every link to every interview that he's been done. He just spoke at Inman. Brokers from all these different companies, they're coming to him and saying, thanks, I really didn't know what was going on. They created their own forms because a huge percent of MLSs haven't even gotten that done yet. You want to have the right answers right away. So follow him, listen to it, give it a shot. Man, I'm following it like crazy, and I'm following my own MLS rules, which happen to be changing. It feels like on a daily basis, more things added and added. And again, so many nuances. So what about this? Well, what about this? I think it would be great to say on here, well, what about this, Kathy? What about this? I'll research it for you. I'll get you the answers. But again, double check it, make sure. I am getting all mine from EXP, and I'm following Leo. He's the CEO of the company. They're not taking any chances, because the reality is the MLS is the new police. They're the ones that are going to be assessing the fines, taking your power away from the MLS, doing all kinds of things without notice. Be ahead of this game. You can't win this. This is really important. So if you like this, if you want more, please ask me questions below. This is powerful. We need to be helping each other. I got your back, you got my back. Let's not go insane with this. Let's empower each other, right? All right, so subscribe below if you like this. Please make some comments. Don't be a jerk, though. And I mean that sincerely. Let's just talk. Let's work things out. So put your comments below. Share this with a friend. Follow Leo, and I'm telling you, get through this. We've gotten through other things before, and if you haven't, well, you're going to get through this. It'll be just fine. So stay tuned for the next one. Subscribe below. See you later.